Hey, welcome back. I'm your gin guy, James Wolverton, and we're talking Negronis and our quest for the right gin to create that perfect balance that makes the Negroni a wonderful cocktail. Brief summary: Negroni, 1 part gin, 1 part Campari, 1 part sweetened vermouth, and an orange. Peel. Just get a nice scent. Dehydrated orange wheel for me because I kind of like the flavor it gives as it soaks. That's a Negroni. They're all 3 equal parts. It's a perfect triad. But is it always? Because you've got to have the right gin, and that's what we're looking for. And there was so many different varieties that are out there majorly. Because if we remember our first video, I'm only going to go with big national brands. I love the smaller brands. I happen to make one, but I want this to be a good guide when you're out at bars ordering a Negroni. What do you think is going to be the best? So we have really come up in weight class. We're looking at Beefeater this week. Pretty much won the standard bearers for what a typical London dry gin will be. When you are out and about, most major restaurants and bars will have this. I would say this would be their standard pour, not their well. It would be much, if it's their well, that's awesome. Then you're in the right place because the next step up will be great. But this will be usually their typical, this is what we'll put in your cocktail, Negroni, martini, aviation gin cocktails. But we're focusing on Negronis. So if we remember our rules, we got to look for something that's balanced because it's only a 3-component cocktail. If one doesn't sit right, it's not good. 9 times out of 10, what's going to be out of balance will be the gin because the other 2 are the same for every cocktail. And what's in the gin that makes it out of balance? And would I drink it or order it again? Or 1 to 5, is it a drain pour? Is it a reorder? We'll find out. So cheers, let's get our first sip in. Smells like a Negroni, which is, if it's right, it's a blend of 3 different, the 3 different smells that work together. Smells right. On first taste, it tastes right. So yes, rediscovered Beefeater because I'd be lying to say I kind of overlooked this brand in years past. We took a cruise a little over a year ago. We were at one of the pool decks, didn't want to run to the fancier bar. We used this for one of our half-off cocktails, and they had Beefeater, and I was just doing that in a tonic. And there's a reason Beefeater's been around for a while. I'm like, what is this? This is really solid. This is good, and it made a really good gin and tonic. I'm going to be surprised if this doesn't at least mid-level, halfway, or if not higher. But on first taste, it tastes pretty balanced. Everything tastes in order of where they should be. On first blush, nothing's louder or softer than the others. No, that's kind of what I thought. There's a reason Beefeater's been around as long as it has and been successful. It is balanced. Is it perfectly balanced? The gin's there. The gin is fine. It stands up. A little more complexity to offset the Campari and maybe accent some of the sweetness of the vermouth could be there that would help elevate it. But I wouldn't say nothing's way overpowering the other, so balance is fine. So what is out of balance? I would say maybe let's have another sip. Like I said, the basics of what gin should taste like are exactly in here. This is what I think the standard bearer for gin should be. So I think it plays well with the other ingredients, but it more balances. It doesn't as much enhance, if that makes sense. It's a nice stool, but it isn't fancy and pretty, but it's something that's going to support the other 2 legs just fine and give you a really solid seating. So based on that, just complexity, and that's just me. I would say nitpicky, because on 1 to 5, it's certainly not a 4, but I would say like a 3.25, somewhere between 3.25 and 3.5. I would definitely go out, and if they made me a cocktail with this and these correct ratios, I would order two. I would order at least another one. Yeah, Beefeater, definitely pass. Definitely not drain pourer. Is it the most complex and wonderful cocktail ever thought of? No, it's not a 4 or 5. Is it certainly above average, and it's a solid support for everything's in proper coordination with each other? Yes. Are any of them being enhanced? No. So that's why it's a 3.25 versus the last one, which was a 2 something, which, everything overwhelmed the gin. This is playing well. It's just not elevating, if that makes sense. But no, it's great cocktail, solid cocktail. Drink them. Wouldn't drink them all night because that's irresponsible, but I would enjoy 1 or 2 and be quite content and quite happy with whatever mixologist, bartender, cocktail deliverer I had, especially if it's me. So if you go out and about, Beefeater will make you a balanced Negroni. Nothing fancy, but a nice, solid, balanced Negroni. 3.25. Definitely not drain pour. Would definitely finish it. So Beefeater passes. But I knew we would. I had a feeling after the last episode we're in territory that a long-lasting label that makes a solid, good gin would do well. So we will see you in a couple weeks. If you like learning about what I think would make a great Negroni, exploring different gin types, major of course, hit the like, hit subscribe, put some comments in there. Give me some ideas for major brands that you would like to see next. Eventually, I'm sure I'll have to get to the local brands, but right now, just the big boys that anybody across the nation, or maybe even international if you check in. I'll see you soon. Cheers, enjoy responsibly, and have a good afternoon.